Good morning, I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela and we are the Castros. O, maganda ang weather ngayon.
Maganda weather, thank you
Sana
Lord.
tuloy-tuloy na yan.
Pero may mga of course na hindi pinalad with good weather. And wait, taka lang ang brunch natin today is mung bean bread and of course, my cup of coffee. Ayun.
Meron ka bang patrivia dyan sa...
Wala akong alam about...
Mung bean ang tare.
Munggo.
Pag ako lang yung
munggo
munggo.
Wala akong masyadong alam about yung history nito. Pero yun, madami tayong pag-uusapan. Of course, post-mortem tayo ng bagyo for most agencies to see where we went wrong, where we can do better.
Yes.
And of course,
we'll check in on
moving
weather
forward,
also.
pag-aaralan daw nila ang ways to mitigate. We spoke with yesterday, OCD yesterday, no? And they said moving forward, they have long-term and short-term plans. But in the meantime, we're serving you news in a countdown.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is Brunch.
Let's start our countdown with the weather. Severe tropical storm Manny, or formerly known as Pepito, is moving further away after it battered some parts of the country. Manny was last seen 570 kilometers west of Lawag City. It packs maximum winds of 100 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 125 kilometers per hour. Still, some parts of the country will experience isolated rain showers due to easterlies, northeast wind flow, and shear line. Pag-asa clarified that 4 tropical cyclones being near in the country is not an unusual situation. This is in response to NASA's earlier claim that the simultaneous presence of 4 storms in the western Pacific Ocean is an unusual occurrence. Pag-asa Weather Division Chief Juanito Galang said the same scenario happened back in 2020. He said that this was caused by the La Nina phenomenon.
Oo, tinitingnan ko kasi na ano ko yan nakita ko yan kahapon. Parang sinasabi nila kasi before, kasunod yan yung mga November, year 2020. Di ba yung merong Ulysses, gano'n. Hindi ko lang maalala yung iba pang mga typhoon. Pero sabi nila, within that span of days or month, 4 yung bagyo na tumama sa atin.
Oo, kasi and what NASA was pointing out naman kasi was it's not because of La Nina sinasabi ng Pag-asa kaya tayo may ganito. But ang sinasabi lang kasi ng NASA, La Nina is also not a natural phenomenon. It doesn't occur every year.
Yes,
so that's what they meant na and the same track halos ng 4 na bagyo. Isang lugar ang dinaanan nila. That's what they were pointing out also.
So ito, nakita ko na sinasabi ng Pag-asa, no? Noong November 2020, 4 successive tropical cyclones, namely Typhoon Rolly, Shoni, Tonyo, at saka Ulysses. Yun yung sinasabi nila na sunod-sunod din noong November, noong 2024 years ago. Alright, sige, let's continue with our countdown. Next in our countdown, at least 7 people are reported dead due to recent tropical cyclones. According to the NDRRMC, 30 people were injured while 2 others remain missing. Over 495,000 families or 1.8 million individuals were affected by the tropical cyclones. Agricultural damage is at 8.6 million pesos and damage to infrastructure at 469 million pesos. President Bongbong Marcos has called the public to unite and pray for those who were affected by the storms.
And my feelings about that is that one casualty is one casualty too many. So that is unfortunate.
One casualty is one casualty too many. He's been saying that for the longest time about yung unang bagyo pa lang before the 4, sabi niya how many casualties are we trying to mitigate? Parang sinagot ni PBBM na no, even one should be unacceptable. Yan ang goal.
Siyempre, ang goal is 0 casualty. Pero yun nga,
that's
dahil sa
quite
unavoidable
circumstances.
Kahapon sabi isa lang, pero ngayon nadagdagan yan. Mamaya babalikan natin yung story na yan. But also, the Office of the PBBM Administration has also released a statement saying na sinasabihan yung mga government agencies under his administration na wag na sigurong magkaroon ng mga mararangyang Christmas parties this year. This is in solidarity with, with the victims of the typhoon.
That should be the case naman talaga. It's because parang it's not prudent, ang daming suffer and that you're celebrating, di ba?
Ito yung kinukwento ko sa iyo kanina, Diego, no? A deadly landslide incident happened in Nueva Vizcaya amid Pepito's onslaught.
For the details, we have Irvin Lucena of Nueva Vizcaya, PDRRMO, on the line. Good morning.
Thanks for joining us.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hello, sir. Good morning po. From
Okay.
PDRMO Operation Center po. Yes po.
Okay, sir. Ilan po ang ang confirm patay po sa landslide na yan sa may Baguio town?
Based po sa incident report from MDRRMO, ang Baguio ang nagtalang patay po dito sa incident na ito is 7 po.
Okay.
At ito po bang 7 na ito, sir, ay family? Ano po ba yung nangyari? Bakit po sila kasama po dito sa landslide?
Family po ito ng isang barangay official ng Labang, ang Baguio, Nueva Vizcaya po.
Oo. Meron po kasi ako mga nabasang report, please confirm na lang po kung totoo, na papunta daw po sila supposedly sa evacuation center, pero yung pupuntahan nila na evacuation center ay hindi daw po yung designated na evacuation center. Tama po ba yun?
Based po dito kasi sa report po ni MDRRM Baguio, sir, is itong family na ito is headed by barangay official. So si barangay official is nagpakandak po ng preemptive evacuees sa mga sa mga constituents niya sa barangay. Pero to po yung family po ni Barangay Kagawad is nag-stay po sila sa bahay po nila, and hindi naman po nila inaasahan na landslide po yung tinitirhan po nila.
Right. Pero bukod po ba dito, meron pa po ba tayong mga ibang casualties at landslide incidents?
Dito po is yung casualties natin. So, yun pong natala na 3.
Again, sir, sorry po, medyo nawawala po kasi kayo eh.
Meron pong patay and 3 injured po dito po.
Okay, so we have 3 more injured po ngayon.
Okay, sa area niyo po, ilan po ang mga still nakabukod po sa evacuation centers, at kamusta na po ang sitwasyon doon?
As of now po, meron pa rin pong mga inside evacuation centers po.
Yes, that's right.
Mr. Irvin? Can you hear us po?
Yes po, ma'am. Yes po.
Okay.
Ma'am po.
Regarding po sa ilang pamilya po ba yung mga nandoon pa rin po ngayon sa mga evacuation centers?
As of now, sir, ma'am, nasa 1,259 families pa rin po ang mga nasa inside evacuation centers po natin.
Oo.
Okay, at may mga lugar pa bang baha pa rin hanggang ngayon po, or kamusta na rin ang supply ng kuryente sa area nyo?
As of now po, sa mga flooded na incident reported po sa nag-affect naman ang tubig natin, and sa kuryente naman po, as of 11 reported by our provider na 26.95% na po ang na-restore po ng model po na. Pero continuous restoration pa rin naman po sila.
Opo.
Okay.
Kumustahin na rin po namin, kasi we've seen several reports as well, yung mga nagtumbahan ng mga puno, bukod pa po doon sa mga nagtumbahan ng mga poste ng kuryente. Kamusta po yung ginagawa na po nating clearing operations doon sa mga areas na yon?
Yes po, ma'am. Sa mga reported fallen trees naman po natin, ma'am, continuous pa rin ang clearing operation natin within coordination with DPWH and our Provincial Engineering Office, and of course, municipal po natin. Continuous pa rin naman ang efforts to conduct clearing operation.
Diyan po in Nueva Vizcaya alone, meron po ba kayong data kung magkano po yung damage to infrastructure or agriculture po sa inyong lugar?
Actually, as of now, ma'am, wala pa po kaming
Wala pa.
report, yes po.
Opo.
Pero monitoring po namin, alam po yung damages na yung epekto po ng bagyo dito.
Lastly po sir, natanong ko lang na din po, no, given nga po dito sa nangyari sa inyong lugar sa Nueva Vizcaya particularly, meron po ba tayong plano na magdeklara o magdedeklara po ba kayo ng state of calamity?
Actually, with regards po dito, magpatawag po ang governor ng meeting mamayang hapon pa lang po to pag-usapan po lang po yung possibility po if magde-declare po ng state of calamity.
Sige po. Alright, sige. Patuloy po kami makikipag-ugnayan sa inyo. Medyo nawawala-wala po yung signal ni sir. But for the meantime, mag-ingat po kayo. Maraming salamat, Mr. Irvin Lucena of Nueva Vizcaya, PDRRMO.
Okay po ma'am, maraming salamat po and good morning po sa ating lahat.
Okay, let's move on to the next. Emerging on the 8th spot is about global security. Reports surfaced that U.S. President Joe Biden has allowed Ukraine to use its long-range missiles against Russia. Various media outlets reported that Kyiv is now permitted to use the ATAC-MS missiles compared to the previously used HIMARS missiles that only have the range of 50 miles. ATAC-MS missiles have the range of 190 miles. The U.S. previously did not allow the usage of these missiles because it can further trigger Russia and escalate its conflict with Ukraine. Meanwhile, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un renewed his call for limited expansion of his military nuclear program. He said this is the government's way to counter US-led threats. Kim also criticized Washington for its support of Ukraine and said the US is just using the European country as their shock troops. Oo, if you check out yung army ni Putin, no, that supposedly may incursion sa loob ng South Korea, may mga reports na may mga North Korean paratroopers daw nandun that are assisting. And then ang report nga ni Zelensky, ni President Zelensky, is that they're very aggressive daw and very violent in terms of battlefield tactics daw na encounter daw nila. So siguro this prompted Washington to give them the HIMARS HIMARS yung ATAC because yung HIMARS kasi more on defensive missiles to, similar to the Iron Dome of Israel. So ang purpose niya is to intercept incoming missiles sa loob ng area nila. But itong bagong ATAC missiles kasi is 190 miles, so it could reach the outskirts of Russia mismo. So it could be parang a threat nakapoint sa cities of Russia. Which could be a form of threat against Russia mismo. So
pero sinasabi nga ni Volodymyr Zelensky, 'di ba? Sabi nga niya third year na, no, approaching third year na itong ongoing war sa 2025, and they are hoping na magkaroon nga talaga ng ceasefire itong nangyayaring gulo sa kanila.
Actually, without the aid of the US, yung people are saying that Ukraine would have not made it this far. Because steadily yung NATO and the US are supplying Ukraine with tanks, bullets, guns, missiles, because they cannot directly intervene and assist Ukraine because it will trigger a bigger, wider scale war. So ang ginagawa nila through the outskirts or the other borders of Ukraine, may mga tanks na pinapapasok sila. And then ginagamit ng mga sundalo at saka mga eroplano.
Pero bakit sumasali yung NOCOR? Alliance, no?
That's the prerogative naman ng
Oo nga, pero sinasabi nga ng US, parang sinabihan niya si Xi Jinping, si US President Biden na parang i-dissuade na ang NOCOR para dun sa support sa Russia.
Kasi that's an alliance North Korea, China, and Russia. So that's their tactical alliance, prerogative nila yan.
Alright, let's switch gears now and talk about sports. Two Filipinos brought glory to the country after winning an ultimate frisbee competition in Portugal. Denise Valdesancho with the report.
Some say we are at the golden age of sports in the Philippines, and two Pinoys have proven that yet again. Jason J-Lo Lopez and Wendell Simbulan have etched their names in history, clinching gold at the recently held World Great Grand Masters Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2024 in Portugal. Being the first Filipinos to win an Ultimate Frisbee World event, J-Lo recalled the journey that brought them to achieve such milestone way back 1997.
I was playing beach volleyball. It was the first Nesty beach volleyball tournament.
Okay.
I was one of the players, and Wendell was one of the organizers of the tournament.
The gold was a decade in the making, and it all traces back when the sport was introduced to the country way back the 90s.
During 1999, a group of expats visited Boracay, and then they saw the beach volleyball tournament. So at that time, they sort of wanted to have the first Asian beach ultimate frisbee in the Philippines.
With no governing body for the sport in the country, Wendell helped foster a community where ultimate frisbee could grow.
So we decided to put up the first competitive league
Yep.
in Manila. So that's where I recruited Jason.
From 4 to now over 200 clubs, ultimate frisbee continues to thrive.
We've noticed na yung Filipinos, tayo, the strongest chance for us to always go into the podium is yung beach ultimate.
Beach Ultimate is a team sport composed of teams with 5 players, where the objective is to advance the disc to the opponent's end. And for them, this is only the beginning.
For us, it was a great experience yung itong World Championship. Now, I feel na the Filipinos should put a lot of effort on beach ultimate frisbee. I think we have a bigger chance to win gold.
With enough support and guidance, the future of Philippine Ultimate Frisbee looks bright.
Now that we have the association, it's being guided, but the community is being guided by the association. Hopefully, yung development program will continue, and then one of these days, we would be able to grab gold as a team.
Mobile journalist Denise Valdesancho. We are One News.
All right, coming up. Kilala mo ba si Mary Grace Piatos? The House Committee on Good Government has a prize for you if you can share information about them.
And former President Duterte has accused the palace of sponsoring former Senator Antonio Trillanes. The palace has an interesting response to this allegation. Ako, nag-double endorsement ka ng product, ha?
Oo nga eh.
Mary
Pero
Grace
hallucination
Piatos.
naman yung sa kabila, di ba sinabi ni E.S. Bersamin. Pero mamaya pag-usapan natin yan. We are just getting started. Mga kapatid, more of our top 10 news when Brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. you're still watching Brunch here on One News.
Uy, good morning sa mga viewers natin. Sino ba mga viewers natin?
Batiin ko muna itong mga nasa YouTube natin, yung usual suspects natin, si Alex Fuentes, si Summer Cabrera, si Mark Santiago, Leonie Valdesoto, si Geraldine Balolog, si Gary Co, si Ronald Maxtay, tama ba? Si Tita Daisy, Tito Naldi, and Tito
VJ.
Nico, VJ, si Ice, sino pa? Si Tasha, si Barisol, Mina Benales of
Jesse Mendez family.
Jerry Yang also.
Jerry Yang of Chancellor family, of course. And si Marjorie.
Yes,
Oo,
of course.
good morning sa inyong lahat.
Sa Facebook naman, si Migs Ebron, si Sam Pokemon,
Ralph Domingo, of course.
Domingo,
Ralph
si
Domingo.
Gary Field, tsaka itong si Mayor Abad. Yan mo ba si Mayor Abad? Si June Barocan,
Si
at
Mayor
tsaka
Abad.
si Houty, yan, mga mainit ulo nila sa flood control project.
Asa na daw ang billions of pesos worth of flood control project.
Meron ba kayong trivia sa ating Mungo Bread?
Wala akong trivia dito about Mungo Bread.
Hindi, yung
Esensya
mga
na.
brunchies natin.
Baka sila meron. Alam ko, ang Mungo Bread is bread with mungo.
Oh, wow, very intelligent.
Okay, let's go, let's go.
Bilang Pilipino, bilang Pilipino.
Going straight now to our seventh spot, the Comelec has dropped the mandatory social media registration for supporters of candidates. This means only official social media accounts of candidates and political parties must now register with electoral authorities. This comes after the Makabayan Bloc wrote to the Comelec raising concerns about potential restrictions on free speech and privacy rights. The original resolution had sparked widespread concern among social media users who were worried their content could be subject to takedowns. Mahirap din naman kasing i-regulate pag social media.
Kasi first of all, each country is governed by their own rules of may libel, 'di ba? And 'di ba we were talking to the ICT the other day about yung hacker and yung mga ginagawa niya ang difficulty is kung ano yung nationality niya, anong area of jurisdiction. So ganito rin also with regards to yung mga social media postings and other issues. It's because, di ba, ano yung habol mo dito?
Oo. So even if it's relaxed na daw yung requirement for private individuals dito sa pagdating sa social media, sinasabi ng Comelec, doon pa rin yung guidelines. So yung kailangan mag-register yung account, ma-register yung account nila and must still submit notarized affidavits pledging to avoid disinformation and foreign interference.
So parang naman to, honesty and trust system na ang mangyayari, di ba? Parang mahiya naman kayo, sumunod na lang tayo. Let's follow the rules.
For next year's election, sabi ng Comelec, yung fake news, fake accounts, deepfakes, AIs, fake news, not AIs.
Pwede daw AI, fake news ang bawal.
Fake accounts,
and
fake news, deepfake, yan yung mga bawal.
Yung mga trifectang fake.
Election offenses yan. Yan ang sinasabi ng Comelec.
Actually, on political postings, minsan medyo strict ang Facebook Kasi napapansin ko pag minsan if you're posting a commentary on political postings, may flag comment na ipapadala sa iyo na to explain your side.
Depende kung ano yung
Nangyari sa akin
sinabi
yan
mo.
number of times Kasi usually kahit i-repost mo lang tapos i-comment mo yung nakasulat, they will flag you to explain. Nangyari sa akin ilang beses.
Kaya nga di ba sinasabi ng Makabayan Bloc, kung ganito yung gagawin, kung i-regulate, parang yung free speech ng mga tao, yung ang tawag doon, masasakal.
Hindi naman nila, wala man restriction It's regulation is different from restriction. They're just merely saying to abide by these rules. Yun lang naman. Di ba? Fair naman. Don't sow fake news. Huwag ka gagamit ng deepfake, which is very damaging. Di ba?
So,
that's fair naman.
Yeah, that's fair naman. Pero ito, i-register ng kandidato yung official Facebook account niya for campaign, pati yung sa party. Pero kasi, yung iba, gumagawa kasi, yung supporters, di mo naman din yun mapipigilan gumawa ng sarili nilang pages for their sinusuportahan na kandidato.
Di siguro, ang gagawin siguro ng candidate dito is they're going to determine sino ba yung mga official supporters nila. Tapos kung gusto mong official supporter ka, magpa-register ka sa partido namin, then i-forward sa Comelec. Officially, di ba? Yung mga pero out of that, hindi natin makokontrol yan.
Totoo.
Di ba? Kunyari, sumobra sa mga, kasi pwede pwedeng gawin ng isang supporter, gumawa ng fake news, tapos
Exactly.
gamitin niya yung pangalan ng isang kandidato,
Exactly.
masisisi pang
Pwede
kandidato.
yun, masisisi yung kandidato.
Or pwede yung kandidato gumawa fake news laban sa kalaban, sabihin niya, wala ako alam dyan.
Exactly, yun
ko."
nga yung, yung point
it's
ko
very,
dun eh.
no, but this is a step naman in the right direction. But let's see how this happens. This is the first time naman this will happen in this
Sabi
election.
mo, election offense. Diba
Oo.
sinabi ko kanina, yung deep fake. O mamaya, kunyari, ikaw kakandidato ka, ayaw kita. Gagawan kita ng pero kunyari galing sa partido mo. O
Anyway,
election offense
let's
na yun.
see.
Pero
I
hindi
mean,
registered yung account na yun
this is
sa Comelec.
Step naman in the right direction, and we have to start somewhere.
Okay.
So if it works out, then we'll iron out the kinks for the next election.
Pwede.
Ha?
O,
Okay,
usaping election pa rin to next. Next?
settling at the sixth spot is about Senator Jinggoy Estrada. He recently called out San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora about the alleged rise of flying voters in his city. During the Comelec budget hearing in the Senate yesterday, Estrada raised suspicions about the increase of new voters in San Juan City. He alleged that these are flying voters who will elect Zamora again in the next elections. Estrada did not explicitly mention Zamora's name in his speech, but he described him with a bad description. Recall that Zamora ended the Estrada Ejercito's control of San Juan City in 2016.
If these issues will not be resolved, no other candidates from other parties will never have a chance of being elected as public officials in San Juan. Laging kung sino man ang sabihin ni mayor namin doon, yun lang ang boboto nila. Wala nang pagkakataon dahil meron sila 30,000 flying voters.
Well, there was a time that the Estrada Ejercito clan controlled San Juan City for a long time also. And at that time, kaalyado nila sila
Zamora din.
Ronnie Zamora, the father
The
of Francis.
father.
So if it's another clan's turn, then anong...
Pero alam mo, during the hearing kasi, kahapon ata yan meron pa siyang isang pinapoint out, si Senator Jinggoy Estrada, na COC ng isang kumakandidato na councilor dyan sa San Juan. So sinasabi niya, isang basketball player na nakatira sa Domingo, ganyan-ganyan na street, pero walang number or building number. So sabi niya ganun, why do we accept yung mga COC na ganyan? Dapat daw may due diligence. Sabi niya, I have nothing against with basketball players, ha? Sabi niya, sa totoo lang, kasi nga, alam naman natin, parang the whole council, majority of the council, diba, consists of basketball players doon sa San Juan. So sabi, I have nothing against with basketball players, pero due diligence naman, tatanggapin ba natin itong COC
Actually,
na to, na walang yung address niya, yun lang, and Domingo lang, walang...
Actually, that issue has been raised in several provinces na mga tumatakbo ng ng municipal council or congressman or mayor. Yung mga far-flung provinces na sinasabi nila, hindi naman taga dito yan. Diba? Kung kailan nagka-eleksyon, nag-file ng residency, kung titignan mo, wala naman nakatira sa bahay ni walang kuryente.
Totoo.
Nag-file na lang daw siya doon para makatakbo siya doon. Hanapin mo dyan si Mayor. Saan nakatira si Mayor? Nakatira sa Metro Manila.
Totoo. Marami yan,
Madaming
diba?
ganon.
Sa mga towns, tapos nandito yung mga anak na nag-aaral, dito nakatira talaga.
Oo. So, gagawain nila. Plus, we've been raising it up here in our discussions na it's been happening for a long time also na pagdating ng eleksyon, yung mga areas minsan ng yung mga delikado sa bagyo o sa baha, biglang dadami ang nakatira doon. Tapos nakarehistro sa sabihin ng mga tao. Si Mayor, dinala kami dito para...
Diba parang bata pa lang tayo, di ba? Yung
So,
flying voters issue na talaga yan.
Yung sinasabi nito si Senator Jinggoy, I'm not saying with regards to San Juan kasi wala man ako info about, but I'm saying it's happening in other areas as well. And we really have to take a look at that. But in fairness sa Comelec, I think I heard Chairman George a few months back saying they've been cleaning the list diligently.
I was gonna say that kasi diba automated election na tayo, may mga listahan yan, madali na makikita kung may pangalan dito, tas fingerprints, biometrics, hindi mo yung madodoble, diba? So ngayon, ang imbestigahan nila dyan, dapat hindi lang basta tanggalin yung application o yung registered name ng isang aplikante na doble, but also investigate nila kung ito ba ay sinadya na dalawa siya dito o multiple registrant siya. 'Di ba? Kasi minsan naman medyo clerical error or whatsoever, 'di ba? Sabihin na let's give it to them na ganun. Pero may mga pagkakataon talaga most of the time na nagiging multiple registrant because intended na yan for flying voters.
Oh, nag-iba ata pangalan mo.
Oo. Eto, let's continue with our countdown. Senator Raffy Tulfo calls out the National Irrigation Administration for its unfinished projects. These include the Balog Multipurpose Project Phase 2 in San Jose, Tarlac. Around 300 million pesos was allocated for the project, which began 5 decades ago. The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee have decided to invite NIA again for another hearing.
Nung last hearing, if I remember, ang sabi ng NIA by 2027, matatapos na itong balog-balog. Fully completed na. One of my staff went there at yan po yung nakita. May mga heavy equipment na nakatambay lamang doon, nakatenga at walang activity.
Oo. Ano din yan medyo heated din yung discussion dyan yesterday dun sa hearing. Kasi ang sponsor nung hearing na yan sa budget deliberation for NIA si Senator Amy Marcos. So sinabi ni Senator Raffy Tulfo na my staff went there, chinek nila, ganito yung sa balog-balog, diba?
Yeah.
Tapos parang sinabi ni Senator Amy Marcos, sige, papuntahin na lang, let's form a task force or something. Papuntahin natin yung NIA officials there with the officials from the Senate, ganyan, para i-check nga yung... Sabi ni Senator Raffy Tulfo, bakit parang wala kayong tiwala sa tao ko? Sinabi ko na nga ganito yung nangyari. Ito yung chinek nila, na double check na nila. They even talk to the locals there. Ito yung sitwasyon dyan. Sabi niya gano'n. Tapos sabi ni Senator Raffy Tulfo na parang heads will roll sa NIA dahil napakalaki ng budget ng NIA, tapos yung irrigation natin for farmers ay parang putyo-putyo lang, parang gano'n.
Ano nangyari kaya, no?
Oo.
Hindi tinapos.
Million more than...
Nag-miscalculate, nagkaroon pa ng
So,
problems
syempre
sa
kawawa
piping.
yung mga farmers natin.
Oo.
Alam mo na, pag hindi maganda yung mga patubig.
Actually, if you remember for the late former President Benigno Aquino, pet peeve na niya yung water projects ng NIA, di ba? Nagkaroon ng ilang beses na kinall out niya yan
Yeah.
Oo, for the delays in projects or yung inefficiency ng tawag niya. At that time, and si PBBM naman, yung water sources and irrigation is also one of his main thrust sa admin na to because he's mentioned that a number of
Kasi
times.
agriculture
Basic
siya
access daw sa tubig sa tao is water. Diba? Farmers is water. Drinking water sa kababayan for sanitation, for drinking. Yun.
Totoo. So, ayun. So, sabi niya, abangan natin, heads will roll, sabi niya, dyan sa NIA dahil dun sa mga proyekto na napapabayaan. Ang laki-laki ng pondo nila.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue with our countdown.
Placing at the fourth spot is Chinese President Xi Jinping. She has warned U.S. President Joe Biden to stay out of disputes over the Spratleys Islands. The Chinese president insisted that maritime disputes should be handled through dialogue and consultation between states concerned. Chinese officials said the meeting between Xi and Biden was candid, profound, and constructive. The U.S. has previously insisted its ironclad commitment to the Philippines when it comes to territorial disputes in the West Philippine Sea. Excuse me. Naching ako.
Uy, naligo ako
Aching ako, sorry.
Naligo ako. Pero hindi, going back dun sa issue, we all know naman always, di ba, yung narrative ng China, it's always been bilateral. Gusto nila, kung sino lang yung parties involved, yun lang yung kakausapin nila. Ayaw nila na may mga third party or whoever it is, especially US, to join in, di ba, to get involved in this situation.
And President Xi also said that they're willing to work well with the incoming administration ni President Trump. He said that also in the same statement. Kasi alam niya there has been love and hate relationship with Trump. But kasi ang pinanghahawakan din ng China is because President Trump, former President-elect Trump was the first president to ever shake hands and spend time with sa North Korea. So if he's able to do Kim Jong-un, if he's able to do that with that leader, then he's able to work well with other presidents.
First thing he did when he was elected noong 2016, 'di ba? Tinaasan niya ng import tariffs ang China 60%, napakalaki noon for them.
It's in the hopes to stimulate Americans to buy. Kasi Chinese products are flooding the US market, and then instead of buying American-made products, yung mga taga-US, they're buying Chinese products. Kasi
mas mura, mas
So
mura.
yung mga nalulugi, Chinese small US businesses, yung small enterprises, they're losing money. So parang ang gusto sana niyan is to stimulate people to buy from
Organic yung economy nila.
nila.
Pero yun ang gusto. Pero going back dun sa issue natin with Spratly, sinasabi naman of course ng US that they will, 'di ba, forever, kumbaga, 'di ba, that they will uphold yung peace. At saka, yun nga, re-recognize pa rin nila all the way yung international law.
It's mutually beneficial naman for all parties to be at peace kasi economy ang madadami. And China is trying to build that Silk Road, anong tawag doon? Yung Silk Road, yung trade the pathway, di ba? They're trying to build that because they're trying to expand their economy make it into further into an economic superpower, di ba? So I think war is out of the question for these big nations.
All right, let's continue with our countdown. Coming in at our top 3, a ₱1 million reward is now up for anyone who can provide information about Mary Grace Piatos. Here's the report.
In the acknowledgement receipts used by the Office of the Vice President to liquidate 125 million pesos worth of confidential expenses in 2022, a certain Mary Grace Piatos came up as one of the recipients. But is she a real person? At the last hearing of the House Committee on Good Government, congressmen made clear their doubts. They've put up a $1 million reward to be given to anybody who will be able to shed light on who Mary Grace Piatos really is.
At least we can put to rest, no? Na kasi hindi kami naniniwala na totoong may Mary Grace Piatos. So sinasabi nila totoo. So kung sino yung mga kakatulong sa amin para mahanap si Mary Grace Piatos, handa pong magbigay ng pabuya, no? Yung mga congressman.
The committee says identifying Mary Grace Piatos will give them answers to the other questionable receipts submitted by the OVP.
We want to set an example, no? We want to know the truth. Kasi it follows Pag wala si Mary Grace Piatos, sigurado halos lahat na ng tao na naandun is fictitious na.
Recall that the House Committee has flagged at least 158 receipts liquidated by the OVP that they say were either forged or rushed. Some of them had incorrect or missing dates, while some had similarities in the handwriting. Moreover, the Commission on Audit has also said there were over 700 receipts with unnamed signatories and over 300 with unreadable names. Vice President Sara Duterte's office has told COA that these were typographical errors. The House Committee on Good Government will be holding yet another hearing on the issue on Wednesday. They are still hoping VP Sara or other officials from her office would attend.
The problem is, hindi na ginastify yung budget niya. So it's her responsibility. Sinabi niya, bahala ang Kongreso. Ilang beses siyang inimbitahan, hindi siya umattend.
At least 4 OVP officials have already been cited in contempt and ordered detained. For News 5, I'm Marian Enriquez. We are One News.
Ayan, kasi nga, yung una, di ba yung hearing nung November 6, if I'm not mistaken, they were trying to decipher ano ba yung nakasulat, ano ba yung nakapirma doon. Basta Mary Grace, very clear yun.
Ayan,
yung doon sa yung una sabi
Mary
pa
Grace
ni...
Piatos ba nakalagay?
Yung, nakalimutan ko sino yung kausap ni Congressman Acop Sabi niya parang Piati. Hindi, Piatos yan, yung sabi niya. Sorry,
Mary Grace, yung date, lahat ng pirma, ganun
Puro ganun daw yung
ganun ang
pirma. So, tama naman, kung makita nyo na, kumbaga, non-existent.
Ano yung
Mary
name
Grace
nito, yung
Piatos,
pumirma
sino
nito?
yan?
Oo,
diba?
kung Piatos ba talaga yan?
Pero alam mo, eto para, kunyari, notwithstanding yung mga, nangyayari dito na may papremyo na 1 million ba? Magkano daw? Any information?
Di ko,
Diba? Pwede naman nila i-check yan sa, sa PSA Diba?
No, baka kasi
kung existent.
Kung hindi registered yung name ng Mary Grace Piatos na yan kasi magiging problema yan i-track. Unless kasi kaya nga naglalagay.
Ibig sabihin nga, wala.
Oo, pero kaya sila naglalagay ng pabuya is simply baka people have transacted with this Mary Grace Piatos, that person using that alias, baka na-transact at they have a face in mind na pwede igawin cartographic
pwede naman,
sketch.
oo. Pero
yun ang naman ang point
bakit
nun.
if somebody who is not registered sa PSA is transacting sa ganyan sa Office of the Vice
Kaya
President?
nga.
Diba?
That's why we have to find sino yung person na ito. Who is transacting using that, if it's a fake name, who is that person,
Exactly.
diba? If they have a reward system, sabihin nila, if you transacted with this person who claims to be Mary Grace Piatos, alam niya
si
yung
VP
mukha.
Sara.
Diba?
Kilala ba niya si
Ayaw nga niya mag-attend. Huwag niyo
Pero
napili.
tama yung sinabi, 'di ba? When she attended one of the few times na nag-attend siya sa House hearing ng budget deliberation, sinabi niya, "Bahala na kayo, wala na akong sasabihin. Kung anong ibigay niyo sa akin, wala na." 'Di ba? Sabi niya, "Kayo na bahala," sabi niya sa Congress. Tapos ngayon bibigyan siya ng Congress at ng Senate, inadapt ng Senate yung sa budget nila. Sasabihin niya may mawawalan na almost 200 or more 200 employers. Dapat dinefend niya yun, 'di ba, during the budget.
Ayaw nga niya mag-attend kasi daw siya, witch hunt daw for impeachment o ano.
Kawawa dyan yung mga empleyado.
Mga
Sila
empleyado
yung yung casualty dito sa nangyayari.
Oo, kasi si VP Sara will still get her sweldo as Vice
Sweldo
President.
siya, oo.
She'll
Hindi siya magugutom.
She'll still be Vice President, diba? So, yun.
Alright, sige. Marami pa tayong pag-uusapan, Diego.
Don't go away, we're not done yet. May dalawa pa tayo. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Brunch here on One News. Oy, happy Tuesday sa lahat. Maaraw na at least here from Metro Manila, and those who are asking bakit nagtawag pa ng signal number 2 or 3 malinaw naman sa Metro Manila
Kahapon.
Oo, ito okay. Parang tulala ka.
Hindi, kahapon pa yan. Hindi kasi sinasabi naman din ng Pag-asa.
Gusto ko lang sabihin sana na wag nyo na lang wag awayin ng Pag-asa kasi they're doing their jobs rin naman as best as they can also.
Oo. Tapos sabi naman nila yesterday dun sa kausap natin. Sino may kausap natin kahapon from Pag-asa? Sabi niya for the next days, 'di ba? Ay medyo kakalma naman tayo, makakahinga-hinga tayo, wala munang mga sama ng panahon.
In and
pero
out so far.
May aantayin pa tayo mga 3 to 4 na bagyo. Pero sana kung papasok man yun, hindi na ganun kalakas.
At least daw they're taking a look at the next 7 to 10 days.
Yes.
Medyo it looks clear. So parang ang report pa nga ng iba medyo yung tourist spots medyo nabubuhayan na daw. For a while, but
and
be guarded
hanging
pa rin.
amihan will be more present this week.
Abangan daw natin yan.
Yun ang sabi. Okay, sige. Let's continue with our countdown.
On our top 2, the Philippines and United States signed a deal on sharing classified military information. The General Security of Military Information Agreement was signed by Defense Secretary Gibo Chodoro and U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. President Bongbong Marcos noted that the signing of the deal is an important step to the continued interoperability of the two militaries. The chief executive also emphasized the importance of EDCA sites in the country during calamities.
And the EDCA sites have become the staging area because right after the storm, many areas can only be reached by helicopter. And many roads closed because of landslides, and therefore even the main capital or provinces can only be reached by aircraft.
Yung yung si former Congressman Antonio Tino, remember him, sinasabi niya na parang hindi siya masyado okay dito sa agreement na to kasi parang it will just create dependency sa US pa rin.
Oo, pero kasi it's granting both sides access to each other's information. But this will work well also if we can use other classified information with regards to yung tactical movements in the Indo-Pacific region.
Yes, yung sa West Philippine Sea.
West Philippine Sea.
I remember parang nabanggit ni Sir Manny Mogato, 'di ba, na parang magkakaroon ng parang clearer satellite
may access
picture
tayo to that.
Video, kunyari yung naging incident ng mga nakaraang
kasi right now we're relying on reports also and radio reports of what has happened. But this time around, 'di ba, meron aside from yung cellphone videos na nakita natin, may actual satellite images na makikita natin that we can use also. So vice versa, it works both ways. In that way, we have to sign the agreement. Parang we're allowing them also, 'di ba, to take those videos.
This agreement doesn't have expiration. Parang lang to, yung parang pwede mo lang siya i-enhance, 'di ba, dagdagan.
Siguro parang yung MDT natin to, very similar, Military Intelligence Agreement.
And it doesn't matter also kung sino pa yung kasi 'di ba ang isa sa mga tanong nila paano yan, pumirma sila ng bagong deal, magpapalit na ng presidente ang US. Pero wala naman daw yun magiging conflict.
Ino-honor naman kasi mga agreements regardless of yung foreign policy agreements signed before the administration is always honored by the next admin. Kasi I think ira-ratify pa ng Senate naman yan if ever.
Yun nga sinasabi ni Congressman former Congressman Tino na I'm urging the Senate to look into this kasi baka daw may mga nabaviolate na sa mga karapatan ng sovereignty natin. Okay. Alright, let's continue with our countdown. Coming back to the top spot is former President Rodrigo Duterte. The Justice Department's task force will investigate the alleged extrajudicial killings under the Duterte administration. The former president's camp also accused Malacanang of sponsoring his critic, Antonio Trillanes IV. Here's the report.
The Justice Department has confirmed that its task force will probe former President Rodrigo Duterte. This is about his involvement in the alleged extrajudicial killings under his administration. DOJ is currently studying if Duterte violated the Philippine Act on Crimes Against International Humanitarian Law, Genocide and Crimes Against Humanity.
International Humanitarian Law ang ating pinupuntirya ngayon because it is the law that the ICC is studying as well as the law that we have here. And it's the law of the ICC actually, it's what they're using right now.
Remulla ensured the investigation is not just a duplicate of the International Criminal Court or ICC's probe.
We want the charges to be separate from each other. What we charge here and what the ICC charges have to be, if possible, will not overlap.
Sir, ano yung mga possible
Kasi ano yan even if we're not members of the ICC, the spirit of complementarity still applies.
Duterte's former legal presidential counsel Sal Panelo called this move a relentless propaganda against the former president. He urged the government to file charges against the president instead. Duterte also accused the palace of sponsoring his critic, former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV.
Itong si Trillanes, talagang Malacan yan, sponsored yan. Hindi gagalaw yan ang gano'n yan. Walang pera yan. Nagtataka ako bakit ang Malacan yan na ginagawa naman na, wala naman kaming kasalanan sa kanila. Hindi naman ako nag-atake kay Presidente. Pero alam ko na si Trillanes nagtrabaho kay President Marcos.
He said this after Trillanes accused Duterte of hiding money he earned from drug lords he protected during his war on drugs. For their part, Malacanang said the former president was just quote-unquote hallucinating with his accusations.
Ano? Ganun na lang. Ano? with alam mo, mahirap pumatol na sa ganyan. Hallucination na yan.
Pero I have to bring this out before we talk about yung hallucination. Parang hindi daw siya nag-aatake kay Presidente Marcos. Di ba they had those rallies sa Davao and Cebu ba yun? Yung scathing rallies against the admin na sabi nga nila is borderline. Pati si anak ni President Duterte, si Mayor Baste, di ba, na scathing remarks against PBBM. So those were attacks by the family to the President. So just to get that out of the way, hindi ko alam hindi naman daw niya
Kasi sabihin,
na-atake.
wala naman daw silang kasalanan. Isa sa mga sinabi ni former President Rodrigo Duterte. Pero yung natawa ko dito kay ES Bersamin, sabi niya hallucination, yung mga sinasabi. Kasi isa dun sa mga sinabi ni former President Rodrigo Duterte na attack dog daw ng Malacanang. Pero, di ba, alam naman natin, ever since na umupo dyan si Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte nung naging presidente siya ng 2016, isa na to sa kanyang kritiko si Senator Antonio Trillanes.
Senator Antonio Trillanes was attacking Duterte during the 2016 administration niya. Kaya nga, and bakit din nila in-accuse na tatakto din ng Malacanang? He's been attacking them kahit siya ang presidente. Ngayon, iba presidente, he's still attacking Duterte.
Di ba nga 2016 yung pinag-uusapan natin dito, yung bank secrecy law, di ba? Naghamunan. Naalala ko, naghamunan pa sa bangko, pumunta ka dito, mag-abangan tayo.
Nag-abang si Senator Trillanes doon
Yeah, I remember that.
Pero sitting president, si President Duterte noon, Senator Trillanes was already attacking. Diba? So, parang sino nag-utos sa'yo? Si President Duterte.
Pero ito, yung pag-aaral ng Department of Justice, nasampahan nga daw itong si Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte when it comes dun sa crimes against humanities.
We're talking about kasi the rule of complementary applies here. Kasi whatever ICC will file, ayaw nang mag-overlap ng DOJ to file the same case that ICC is filing. So parang it's just like saying that the DOJ will file cases already. But ayaw nila yung redundant.
And I think this is also parang telling them na, di ba, I told you, gumagana naman ang justice system namin dito Di namin kayo kailangan. So we're filing cases, we are building up cases, etc. Feeling ko, yung isa rin yun sa mga aside from other factors pa. Pero sinasabi nga dito, under this law, yung Republic Act, nabanggit ni Julie Baisa, yung may prescriptive period within 20 years. So under PH laws, yung mga murder and homicide cases have prescriptive period of 20 years. So this would include mga cold cases na sakop ng 20. So sinabi ni DOJ Secretary Remulla, hinihingi niya yung report nung pagko-coordinate nitong task force na binuo niya, which is will be chaired by a senior assistant state prosecutor and co-chaired by a regional prosecutor. And this will include other 9 members no, from National Prosecution Service at saka support from the National Bureau of Investigation. So sabi niya, dapat makipag-coordinate itong mga ito, no, itong task force na to sa Senate Blue Ribbon Committee at saka dun sa Quadcom, dun sa mga regarding this investigation. And he is expecting a report not later than 60 days from the issuance of the memorandum.
When we talked to Congressman Dan Fernandez the other time, last week, I think it was last week, he also mentioned that meron na silang initial talks ongoing with the DOJ already.
Yes.
The liaison officer. Kasi may liaison officer in DOJ sa loob ng Senate. So may discussion about sila about first yung una at that time kasi pronouncement si PRRD sa Senate. Paano magagamit yan? But of course, after that, si former President Duterte did appear sa Congress and had more pronouncements sa Congress.
Marami siyang mga ano doon parang sabi nga nila admission.
But I don't know how they're going to take this because he had an admission and retraction and admission and retraction. So pag the lawyers of former President Duterte can simply argue, he admitted, he retracted. So as a witness against himself, is he credible? Diba? Kasi pa iba-iba ng statement eh.
Totoo. So yun nga yung nagiging malaking question, di ba, parati, especially during the hearings, nasabi, ang dami yung sinasabi against sa Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte regarding his EJ case, war on drugs, pero wala naman talagang formally nagsampa ng kaso.
Ito. Let's see what other evidence we have aside from yung actual statements si former President Duterte. But you also have si retired Colonel Reyna Garma, 'di ba? You have si Matobato, si Las Cañas, and then you have si Jovi Espinido.
Bukas 'di ba next hearing sa Quadcom?
Supposedly
pero hindi pa nakauwi yata si Garma, no?
Hindi pa. Kasi, di ba kasi they were looking at the possibility na sabi ni Congressman Benny Abante na sana magharap si former President Duterte and si Reyna Garma. Let's see if that will happen.
So,
pero wala pa eh.
At saka, di ko na alam kung baka hindi na rin pumunta yan si
PRRD. Baka binayaran ba ng Quadcom?
Hindi, kasi nung time na nito siya yun eh. Sarili niya expenses yun.
Kala ko sa bandang North, hotel sa North sa paano yun.
Pero sabi nga ni former Senator Antonio Trillanes ay submit na daw nila yung transcript nung nakaraang Quadcom hearing sa ICC. Kasi we all know naman, sabi naman din ng House of Representatives, yung kanilang Quadcom doon, hindi sila makipag-coordinate sa ICC. Pero the records are public kasi during the hearing.
Hindi sila magko-coordinate but they will not block also any attempt by the ICC to ask for records. Kasi yun ang sabi nila.
Ayun.
Okay.
So, abangan natin tomorrow yung kanilang next hearing for this, pang 12 na if I'm not mistaken, kasi nung kay PRRD 11 so 12 na next. Most probably. Pero tingnan natin, kasi sabi nila mas marami pa daw sila mga interviewin ngayon, di ba? Sinabi nga kasi the last time na overshadow din yung mga kaanak ng biktima ng drug war kasi nga nung pagdating ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Pero we also asked Senator Antonio Trillanes kung pupunta pa siya sa next hearing. Sabi niya, let's see kung maimbitahan ulit. At saka ano pa ba, di ba? Inaantay din natin yung iba pang mga in aid of legislation na gagawin ng House Quad Committee, di ba?
Yes.
Alright, sige.
Okay na.
Oo.
Okay ka na.
Wala kang quote?
Meron akong quote kasi
ka?
nalagay ba? Ito. I'd like to leave everyone with a quote to start your day right. On the other side of a storm is the strength that comes from having navigated through it. Raise your sail and begin. That quote is from Gregory S. Williams. And that wraps up today's episode of Brunch.
Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro. He is Angelo Castro III. We are One News, all sides, all the time.